Hey trainers, Poke Dad here. Alongside me is
KK Shiv 128.
and today we're going to profile the Zygarde GX from SM6 Forbidden Light. Brand new, and we think it has a lot of potential going forward. Let's take a look at what we got.
First, we have a hefty 4/4 line of Zoroark, 3 Zygardes, 3 Tapu Leles, 1 Diancie.
Okay, so generic Zoroark deck, obviously. Super consistent. It's our draw engine. It's going to help us in several different ways here. It's going to get us into what we need, any text that we need, and it's also going to help fuel Zygarde because he's going to be our main attacker in the deck, and his first attack is Cell Connector for DCE. It does 50 damage, and you can attach 2 fighting from the two fighting energy from your discard pile to it. So it does not specify at this time whether that can be strong or it has to be basic. So we're going to assume, because of the translation here, we can attach strong or basic to him. So 50 damage, we can accelerate energy. We're going to use Zoroark GX to discard energy to help that process. Zygarde has the second attack for fighting, colorless, lands wrath, 130 damage. And then he has a nice GX attack for fighting, colorless, that does 150 damage. And then he can't receive any damage from your opponent's EX or GX. So immunity from your opponent's attacks, unless they're basic or evolved Pokemon. They can't be EX or GX. So we're going to use Cell Connector. We're going to accelerate energy, and then we kind of want to skip the second attack and go straight to his GX attack, which is Judgment GX, and we play a new card, Bonnie, that's going to help us stream back-to-back GX attacks. Bonnie lets us discard a stadium and play, and we can use his GX attack again. So we're going to go in hard and fast with Zygarde, power him up, and then hopefully kind of chain or use his GX if needed. The damage boosters with Strong, Diancie, and Choice Band, we may not even have to use his GX attack. His second attack may be plenty as far as the damage output, but we'll just have to dive into some games and see how that goes. Now we have 3 Tapu Lele to help set up. We're going to look for a turn 1 Bridget. After that, we may grab Bonnie to stream the GX attack. Or Mallow, and then use trade to get into those cards. Lots of neat things, lots of great things with Tapu Lele. We've got 3 copies of it. Now our 1 tech card, the brand new Diancie Prism Star. When it's on the bench, it's going to boost Zygarde's attacks by 20 damage. So when we bridge it, we want either whatever part of the puzzle we're missing, whether that's 2 Zoruas and a Diancie if we have Zygarde already in play, or maybe we already have a Zorua in play, so we'll grab Zygarde, Diancie, and another Zorua. But we'll for sure grab Diancie, put her on the bench, 20 more damage. Pretty awesome. So let's get into the supporter line.
Starting off with 3 Ends, 3 Cynthias, 3 Bridgets, 2 Sycamores, 2 Guzmas, 2 Mallows, and 1 Bonnie.
Okay, so 3 in. I mean, you know, if Buzzwall's doing super good on the regional right now in Charlotte, so it's more than likely going to take an early KO on a Zorua. So getting in might be pretty good at the start of the game. And Cynthia is super good for late game and mid game. 2 Sycamores, it's just there if we need a little extra digging power. 2 Guzma, only 2 because We run Puzzle of Time in this Zoroark deck, so we'll always pretty much have access to more than 2 of them. And 2 Mallow, just ultra good card. Uh, can't say enough good things about Mallow. It's going to grab us any tech card we need, any piece of the puzzle, double puzzle, and then trade into double puzzle. It's just there's nothing really bad about having Mallow in your deck. So really, really good. Bridget, you try to play 3 of them so none get prized, but as it turned out in game 3 earlier in round 3, game 3, Alex Hill prized all 3 Bridgets. So as trainers, we do our best to avoid that issue, but eventually it's going to happen. But we've got 3 to minimize that prizing of all 3. I mean, that's crazy, but it happens. It's happened to all of us. So 3 of those, and then our 1 copy of Bonnie. We'd like to have a second, but we don't know for sure if the streaming of the GX attack is going to be the best route. We think it'll be solid, especially in the late game. If we're kind of down to our last Zygarde and we need to kind of protect him, we can use his GX attack. But hopefully we have enough damage output that his second attack will be efficient enough. So that's our supporter line. Next, let's hop into the items and stadium.
Starting it off with 4 triples, 4 puzzle times, 3 choice bands, 2 floats, 2 Eva sodas, 1 field blower, and the 2 Brooklet Hills.
Okay, so for Ultra Ball, obviously we need to grab any Pokemon that we need at that time. Not much to say there. It's going to help us discard fighting energy or strong energies to boost up onto Zygarde GX with his first attack. 4 puzzles going to let us get back any cards that we have to maybe Sycamore or trade out of or Ultra Ball away or get back our one-ofs or even an extra Guzma. So puzzles, super good. 2 float stones. There are a few heavy retreaters in the deck. I think Diancie has a 3 retreat, so definitely want to float stone her. And
she's a big girl.
That's really the only thing that we really need. Oh, she has a 2 retreat cost, but still, we don't want to be attaching DCE just to retreat her out of the active if we can't find a Guzma. 2 Evosoda, just to really get that Zoroark engine going, get it online, turn 2, Evosoda, really good. 1 field blower. From what we can tell, there is a kind of a lesser play. I know that's terrible wording. There's not as much Garbodor right now in the meta from what we're seeing on the stream, so going down to 1 field blower. I know decks probably this weekend playing 2, maybe 3 field blowers that scared away Garbodor. So it's just kind of a rise and fall. Right now there's kind of a dip in Garbodor's popularity. So only 1 field blower. 3 choice band with Zygarde's first attack with a choice band. That's 80 damage. If we have Diancie on the bench, that's 100. Okay, now add a strong energy, that's 120. So you're one-shotting any Zoroark GX for basically a DCE and minimal setup. Not too much going on there. His second attack, if you want to add up the damage, 130. Choice band, 160. Diancie, you're at 180. And so maybe 1 strong energy, you're at 200. So maybe we should make a spot for Regirock. We'll just have to see how the testing goes. But for the GX, 150, choice band, you're at 180. Diancie, 200. Strong, 220. So really good damage output, damage modifiers. And last but not least, we have Brooklet Hill. It's going to help us grab Diancie or Zygarde.
That's it.
And that's really all to say about Brooklet Hill. It's just there to help us get out our Diancie or Zygardes. So that's all our items and stadiums. And last, the energy count.
Starting it off with 3 regular fighting, 4 strongs, and 4 DCs.
So, for DCEs, we're going to be able to use Lele, Zoroark GX, and Zygarde. That's going to be the easiest, most efficient way to power up Zygarde, since he does have a double colorless cost in his attack, rather than trying to use a max elixir engine or something like that. DCE is going to be the way to go. And 4 strong, just any fighting deck, runs strong. It's really good, adding that 20 extra damage. And then 3 regular energy. That's just in case if we need to power up Zoroark, manually without DCE, we can just attach some basics to it. So that's what we got, and that's our rough draft. And so we're about to do some testing with it, and we'll keep y'all updated if any changes are needed to the list. So until then, be excellent to each other.
Party on, dudes.